There's a debate happening in AI that most people are getting wrong. On one side, you have Sam Altman, OpenAI, big tech, scale is all you need crowd. On the other side, Yann LeCun, one of the three people who invented modern deep learning. And LeCun keeps saying something uncomfortable. LLMs are not a path to general intelligence, not because they are bad, because of what they're missing. Now, most people hear that and think, he's a hater, he's out of touch, he works at Meta. Of course he'd say that. But here's the thing, LeCun has been right early before, in ways that only made sense years later. So when someone at his level draws a hard line, I pay attention. And after building systems that actually need to work in production, not demos, not benchmarks, I think he's pointing at something most AI builders are actively ignoring. Let me explain. In this video, I'm going to break down what Yann LeCun is actually saying. Not the Twitter hot takes, the real argument. Why LLMs hit a ceiling and why that ceiling matters more than benchmarks. What world models actually means, because most people get this wrong. Why coding works but knowledge work feels brittle. What this means for operators building AI systems right now. This isn't an anti-LLM video. This is about understanding what LLMs actually are and what they're not. Because once you see the gap, you stop chasing agents and start building something different. Now let me set some context first. Yann LeCun isn't a Twitter commentator. He's one of the three people alongside Geoffrey Hinton, Yoshua Bengio, who literally built the foundation of modern deep learning. He created convolutional neural networks, the architecture behind image recognition, self-driving cars, medical imaging. He led AI research at Meta for over a decade, and he's been right early before, in ways that seemed wrong at that time and obvious in hindsight. In the late 90s, when neural networks were considered dead, LeCun kept working on them. Everyone thought he was wasting his time. A decade later, deep learning changed everything. So when he says something uncomfortable about the current AI paradigm, it's not a hot take. It's a pattern recognition from someone who's been here before. LeCun keeps repeating one idea in different ways. Large language models are not a path to general intelligence, not because they're weak, because of how they're built. Here's what LLMs actually do. They predict the next token based on patterns in past data. That's it. And that turns out to be incredibly powerful for language, code, summarization, translation, anything where feedback is immediate and explicit. That's why coding looks magical right now. You write code, it compiles or it doesn't. But intelligence isn't just output quality. Intelligence is the ability to build a model of the world. Remember what happened, understand causality, improve behavior over time. And this is where LeCun draws a hard line. When LeCun says world models, a lot of people hear, oh, he wants a bigger, better LLM. That's not what he means. A world model isn't text generation. It's an internal representation of reality that persists across time. Think less, answer this question well. Think more, understand what happened last week, why it worked, and how that changes what I do next. LLMs don't have that. They don't remember in the biological sense. They don't own experience. They don't know whether something succeeded unless we tell them. They don't build a model of how the world actually works. They're brilliant pattern engines.
very smart, but not lived systems. An LLM that remembers everything but improves nothing is just faster at repeating itself. And here's what's interesting, the industry is running into this exact boundary that have been warned before in the past. It's happening in real time. We're seeing autonomous agents that look impressive in demos, Claude code running for days, multiple LM instances coordinating tasks, huge productivity spikes in narrow domains, and yet, outside of coding, things feel brittle. Why? Because coding has clear success criteria, fast feedback, objective correctness, and the system knows when it's wrong. Most of knowledge work doesn't. Help me think, analyze the situation, make a good decision. These require memory, judgment, and continuity, not just generation. LeCun isn't denying progress. He's saying you can't scale your way out of missing structure. And here's where I align with LeCun strongly. Most people are trying to fix this by making agents more autonomous, more tools, more permission, more self-reflection loops, more just let it run, more molt bots, but that's the wrong direction. You don't get intelligence by letting an LM act more freely. You get chaos. What's missing isn't autonomy, it's architecture. Humans don't reason because we generate better sentences. We reason because we have memory that persists, we forget unimportant things, we keep identity stable across times, we learn from outcomes, not vibes. And LeCun is pointing at the same gap. Just from a research angle, I'm pointing at it from an operational angle. LLMs think, systems act, and right now we have thinking without structure. The last few years were about capability, bigger models, bigger benchmarks, flashier demos. 2026 is about compounding, what actually gets better with time. That's why internal work data suddenly matters more than public data. Foundation model companies are moving down the stack. Startups are getting squeezed by distribution, and agents feel powerful but unreliable. And the winners won't be the systems that act the most. They'll be the systems that remember what worked, forget what didn't, stay coherent, and remain accountable. That's not an LLM problem, that's a system design problem. So here's the reframe to bring it back. The conversation right now is which LLM should I use? Which agent framework? How do I make more autonomous? Right? Look left, look right. Everyone's doing the same thing, but wrong questions. The right questions are what persists after the task is done? What improves without me babysitting it? Who owns the outcome? That is the difference between building agents and building workers. Agents execute tasks, workers own roles. Agents reset every session, workers compound over time. Agents need supervision, workers report to you. Now, if the system forgets when the prompt ends, you didn't build leverage, you borrowed speed. So yes, I'm aligned with Yann LeCun, not because LLMs are dead ends, but because pretending they are intelligence is holding us back. Next layer isn't more prompting, it isn't more autonomy, it isn't more hype, it's structure. Memory that compounds, identity that persists, feedback that teaches, ownership that stays. That's not a research problem, it's a system design problem. And the people who solve it won't be building cooler demos, they'll be building infrastructure that survives.
I'm documenting what comes after SaaS, what persists when the demo ends.
If you're building AI systems that reset instead of learn, if you're tired of being the human glue, I put together a digital worker transition guide. Link is going to be in the description.
Because the question isn't which model you're using. The question is,
what survives when you stop watching?